What is up, guys? Zakin here. In today's video, I want to share with you exactly how to build a $10,000 a month wholesaling real estate operation with this exact game plan. Before I break it down, do me a big favor. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and let's break it down. When it comes to making $10,000 a month in wholesaling real estate, it's not as difficult as it's. And now it might be like, okay, Zach, you've done over 1,000 real estate wholesaling deals. It sounds like you know everything, and you're all high and mighty on your chair right now telling me it's super easy to make 10 grand every single month. But the honest truth is, when you really look at making $10,000 every stinking single month, it really does come down to consistent marketing, consistently following up, consistently talking to sellers, cash buyers. And really, when you look at a lot of people that are trying to get into wholesaling real estate, people that are trying to start wholesaling, there's a big proportion of them that aren't going to make $10,000 a month consistently, right? Like, that's a goal for a lot of people starting out. Heck, for me starting out, that was a huge goal. But when you look at people that actually talk to, let's say, 400 leads every single month, right? Like, they got 400 yeses. There's almost a 0% chance of those people not making 10K every single month, right? And from somebody that can consistently do over $100,000 every single month in wholesaling real estate, I can tell you straight up that I don't miss on these months, and I consistently get these deals because I talk to enough sellers, right? I pull enough cash buyers. I actually do the things it takes every single day, every single month to actually do huge, amazing wholesaling real estate deals. And that is sort of the point today, and that is the point I really want to get into. But again, I said it one more time, I'll say it again. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe. I appreciate everybody hopping on today and watching. So let's talk about this, right? Let's really break everything down. I want everybody to understand exactly what it takes to make $10,000 a month, because I really don't think it's as difficult as it seems, right? So what I want to do is break down my action plan, right? And from my action plan today, I want you guys to know, if I was going to make a little, $500 course on how to make, let's say, 120K a year in wholesaling, right? Like, so that's sort of the video I have today, right? Like, that's sort of the video I have, and that's sort of what I'm making today. So if you want to make that much money in your own wholesaling real estate business, you really got to look at yourself and be like, okay, would I pay a $500 course for it? Most people will. Most people are willing to pay $500 for a little course like this, right? And the problem is, a lot of people that are trying to get to that point from no money, they can't afford that, right? But for a lot of people, they pay courses all that 1,000, 2, 3, 4, 5 grand, right? Like, they got little courses and mini mastermind sessions. I see all the stupid stinking time of how to get rich and how to do this, and this, and that, all this crazy stuff, right? When in all honesty, you can get this information from me for free. But like, if I was going to sell a $500 course, I could probably sell 1,000 this month of that, right? And so I'm just doing the math really quick. So if I can just go on, I mean, we'll have over 1,000 views on this, but like, it might get 2, 3, 4, 5,000 views, 1,000 views. And if everyone paid it'd be 500K in a month, easy. I could probably make just being a little guru selling a course, right? And that's not me doing the crazy $10,000 programs, the Zooms and all that stupid stuff I just refuse to do, right? I don't do that. But I could probably make, at minimum, I would probably say 300K a month selling like a tiny little course on how to consistently do deals like I'm going to do today. But I'm like, all right, I'm not a broke guru. I make a ton of money JVing with you guys. I make a ton of money in my own wholesaling real estate business. Why don't I just give out that little mini course in this video today, right? And that's sort of why I decided when I was sitting down and just kind of writing out this video and writing out exactly what I was going to say. So really, that's what I want to do today, and really what I want to break down. So this is going to be my $10,000 a month action plan, my action guide plan for you to become successful in wholesaling real estate. And I can tell you, like, if you're looking at changing your life in wholesaling, changing your life and really consistently doing wholesaling deals, it's all going to come down to making an action plan, creating the plan and executing on that plan, guys. And I talk about some of the greatest men and women of all time, and they all had a plan. So if you're looking to make $10,000 a month in wholesaling real estate, you have to be like them, right? So I look at some of the great people of all time: Winston Churchill, Mahatma Gandhi, MLK Jr. You look at some generals like Alexander the Great, and you see like Joan of the Arc, and all these great military leaders and great military minds. And really, they all had confidence and they all had a plan of attack. Alexander the Great did not conquer all of Persia and large parts of Egypt and all these, but like just winging it, right? Like, he didn't go wing it. And he was what, like 20, 21, 22 years old when he became general. Like, he didn't wing it, and he didn't become very successful doing that, right? Like, guys, if you saw like Harriet Tubman, for example, like, she would have not saved so many people people if she just winged it, right? Like, oh, I'm gonna go save people, but like I'm just gonna do what I feel like for the day. No, she had a stinking plan, okay? Gandhi had a plan for what he did. Winston Churchill had plans. The greatest men and women of all time that have done great things have all had plans. So if you look at those people, why do you think you're any different, right? Kobe Bryant had a 6-6-6 routine, which doesn't sound too good just saying that, but that's his routine where he would literally work out 6 hours a day, 6 days a week for 6 months straight to get into basketball shape, and that's how he became very great. Kobe did that. Michael Jordan had a very similar thing there, but they all had action plans to be great with everything, right? And greatness isn't something that you just wing it, right? You have to plan it out. So when I'm talking about making an action plan, this is why I do it, because I look at the greatest people I look up to in my life. I'm like, well, I want to be like them. Now we are not doing anything near what some of the people I talked about today. Like, we're not doing any of those crazy things, right? That was way more curves than what we're doing. But like, we're talking about doing something great, and making $10,000 a month is great because it's a great financial freedom for you and your family, right? And that is what we're talking about today. And you're going to be the hero of your own family, right? And you look at every superhero out there, before they fought the big boss, the battle, they all had plans. And that is why I'm telling you today, you have to create a plan, and it will lead you to success. This is why so many wholesalers really starting out, they don't have a plan, and that's why they don't succeed. Plan right now or you will fail. And that's why I love looking at so many beginner wholesalers that come up to me and they're like, Zach, I see you make hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month. Why am I not your level? I'm in your market. Why am I not your level? And honestly, I just literally give them the sauce. I give them the best information I possibly can, and they still can't beat me. Do you know why? I can give my enemy, if I'm in a battle, the greatest weapon ever. Like, if you have the same weapon as me, I don't care. I'm still going to whoop you because I know how to use my weapons better. And this sort of goes down to wholesaling, where you're just not going to outwork me. You're not going to outwork my VA team. You're not going to outwork me cold calling. You're not going to outwork my team on acquisitions, because we actually put in the work every single day. We have a plan and we execute. 99.9% of people out here are capping, okay? They talk about a big game. I want to make 100K this year. I want to make $1 million. I'm going to whoop your butt, Zach, in wholesaling. I'm going to be the man. I'm going to close all these deals. It sounds cool. It sounds sexy. But really, when it comes down to actually making the work and doing the action, that separates the men from the boys, the women from the little girls trying out in this business, right? It separates everybody. Work is the success. That's why you pop up to Michael Jordan and say, hey, I'm going to whoop your butt. I'm going to beat you. Michael Jordan will laugh at you, right? There's only a very few amount of men and women out here that could say that to Michael Jordan, and now we're right? Like, you look at Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, heck, Kobe. Kobe actually played Michael Jordan, right? There's a very few amount of people that can go toe for toe for him. And I'm not saying who's better, who's worse, but like, when they're going up against each other, those are the people that could actually compete with him, because they're matched his work ethic. They matched the stuff he was willing to do and the skill set and the work, right? So I see all these young people coming up here saying, hey, I'm going to be really good at all this stuff. Hey, stop yapping. Get to work. That's how I'm going to know if you're a successful or not. The hours you put into marketing, the hours you put into becoming successful, and the hours it takes for you to actually be the best wholesaler possible. That's how I know if you're going to be legit or not in this business. So this is why I'm not giving you a pep talk. I'm not making you feel better than guys. It's none of this stuff. What you honestly have to know is, if you want to become successful and make over $10,000 a month, you're going to need an action plan. And that action plan is what's going to lead you to success. Now, I've talked about the list to poll. I've talked about all these things, the scripts, all this. Guys, this is not a video for it. I'm giving you an action plan today, okay? We're not getting a 10-hour guide, but do remember, if you want to learn any of this stuff, how I do it, what to do, all that fun jazz, you already know, just go to freewholesaling.com. That's my free real estate wholesaling course, where I'll teach you absolutely for free actually how to go up here and talk to motivated sellers, the list to pull, all this stuff, and how to actually become as successful as possible. But that is my little action plan guide. So let's get in the nitty gritty. Let's get into this and let's get it going. Now, most people who watch me talk all day, every day, some of y'all hop on the live stream, see me kind of share my information, my knowledge. Y'all already know it's a lot of the best leads and marketing styles and everything I talk about. It all comes down to a very few, not niche, but like, you got less than $100. I wish I could tell you there's 100 ways to get a bunch of deals with $100, but honestly, it's under 20 or 25. Like, there's probably say 30 if you want to push it, but it comes down to like 5 or 6 main ways, right? And technically the list can expand more. So like, for example, like I might say government lists. This can even bleed into other things like code violations, probates, water shutoffs, tax delinquencies, right? And you can even get I can go even further in there. Like, you got bail bondsman lists, you got the arrest records, right? I just go on and on. There's a million type of liens out here, IRS debt lien lists, credit card debt lien lists, right? Like, there's so many little niched out things from there, but really, trying for dollars, reverse trying for dollars, Zillow for sale by owners, you can cold call a bunch of lists, you can pay for a list, right? There's a lot of ways out here, but like really when you don't have that much money, stick to the basics, stick to what works for most people, and it will make you successful, right? And just, you don't need to learn the secret special trick of everything. And I truly say this with as much humility as I can say, but you don't need to be special to like start out. Like you don't, so I like to equate wholesaling like fighting. And I always say wholesaling is like fighting in war. Those are the best analogies, right? Oh, it's like basketball. No, it's not, okay? It's really, it's like fighting in war. And what I mean by this, like, let's look at two boxers, okay? Wholesaling, let's call it a boxing match. If you ever see really good boxers, even Floyd Mayweather, he does boxing, right? That's fighting. There's not a million moves. Like we go to MMA, we talk about like there's a million moves. You got Kimura's uppercuts, right? You got all these crazy things, right? You do a whizzer, sprawl. I go forever on like MMA terms because you got like 8 sports, heck, even probably 12 sports together. But if you really look at most people, like if you want to be in the top 10% of fighters for boxing, right? If you really know how to do your punches the right way, maybe there's 20 or 30 moves that if you practice just on and on and on, you can probably be a very good fighter. Like I'm not talking about like professional crazy level, but like if you could focus on 4 or 5 moves, defenses, offenses, you're not going to be this crazy like savant, but you're going to be on the top good percent and be really good at it, right? Kind of like basketball. If you really focus on the fundamentals, you're going to do well. So like if you want to make $10,000 a month in wholesaling, I just say stick to the fundamentals. Don't get crazy, right? Like we're not trying to become the NBA. But like if you can get good at 3-pointers, you get good at regular shooting, if you can understand dribbling, and then maybe some driving things, you're going to be pretty good. A little bit of defense, you're going to be better than most people at basketball, right? Like you're not going to be an NBA player probably, but like if you just stick to the fundamentals, you can get very good at it and you don't have to get really crazy, like no craziness, right? Kind of like wholesaling. So the first $10,000 a month, we don't get crazy. We don't do insane things, right? And when I sort of scale up to like 100K a month, you really get the scaling guides out here. Yes, we can get crazy, get creative financing, we get all wholesaling, wholesale lease options. We can get really crazy complicated. And heck, I don't like talking about too much on the live streams, but like at freewholesaling.com, we do have some of that stuff, like scale up a little more really advanced stuff. But like really the fundamentals are where most people need to work on, talking to sellers, cold calling, list pulling, some SMS, maybe a tiny bit of direct mail, how to follow up, but really keeping the script really stupid simple. That is what's going to lead you to wholesaling success. And when you really kind of curve away from the fact of becoming successful and you really curve away from the fundamentals, that's when things get a lot worse, right? That's when a lot of things switch up. So let's kind of talk about what you have to do, right? And honestly, I could tell you is, I would probably say if you want to make $10,000 a month in wholesaling, whatever action plan you devise, it's going to need between 3 to 500 leads every single week contact. And what I mean by this, that means you have to have contacts like hellos. And you sort of say, hey, are you the owner and are you looking to sell it, right? You can do SMS, they want to sell, you go on whatever a contact is, but as long as you actually reach out, talk to a seller, you make contact, right? Like we call it first contact with aliens, right? So kind of the same thing with wholesaling, right? If you get at least 3 to 500 contacts a week, you can easily get it like $10,000, like no questions, right? And this is pushing it, right? But I do want to push you guys to the limit because I honestly think that that's what it's going to take. But yeah, I think 3 to 500 should be fine. This should lead you, and this should be a KPI, a key performance indicator, something to keep your eye on. I think you guys should be at between 300 to 450 no's a week. And a lot of people focus on the yeses, but why don't you just focus on the no's? So make sure you get a good list, but like focus on no's. And this is something that's reversed from what most gurus and most beginners in wholesaling say, but focus on getting no's. And that is really uncommon for most people to say. But if you really want to look at the truth of things, when you focus on just getting a bunch of no's and you get at least 450 no's, you're going to at least get 20 yeses in there. And those yeses are going to lead to a deal. And really 10K a month can be 1 to 2 deals, but really for most people, if you know how to lowball correctly, heck, it might be even 8 deals, even less than a deal a month, right? Like even 8, 9 deals, if you can get 12, 13, 14K a deal, right? Heck, I can't even get deals under 25K anymore just because we're lowballing so much with this market that it's like 6 deals a year for my business, right? If I was going to make 10K a month. So I sort of look at wholesaling real estate like that. You got to make things very, very simple. And when you start focusing on not the result, but the actual action it takes. And I always say this, but like action does equal results. So if my result is $10,000 a month, right? Let's say 120K a year. If my main goal, my main focus is on making 10K a month, 10K a month, 10K a month, right? I'm not going to get anywhere because I want 10K a month. That's all I care about. But if I focus instead right here, like getting 300 to 500 leads a week, 500 leads a week, 500 leads a week, 500 yeses, not yeses, but 500 contacts, like focus on the contacts, you're most likely, because you have an achievable goal that I can actually start setting forth, and really they'll help us out a lot, right? And this is going to be pushing some volume, guys. Like this isn't beginner stuff right now, but like if you push the volume, talking to sellers, you're going to do fine, right? And this is a lot of work. I totally get it, but like, it's a decent amount. But like, I would say if you're serious about this too, like you want to get good money, I would probably focus on calling at least 50 cash buyers a week. And this is probably 150, maybe 200 DMs. And that's a lot. I get it, right? But like, you got to risk it for the biscuit. And if you're in a big market, it's actually going to be not that difficult to find these type of sellers out here. So I would be focusing really hard on the cash buyers too, especially if I'm in a higher ARV market, where it might be a little harder if I'm a lower population, higher ARV to find cash buyers. So I'm really gonna have to talk around and really see where people are at and how things are going. And that's gonna lead us to a lot of success here. Next here, what am I gonna do? I think if you start getting some momentum in this business, you're gonna have a lot of follow-ups in your CRM, right? And you got the hot leads. I think at minimum, at work, like at the lowest level, you should be at minimum 25 follow-ups a week. And what is this going to be in 5 days? 4 or 5 follow-ups a week if you can get really at that level where you're getting a lot of leads coming in. And that is sort of the point, right? We're pushing a lot of the yeses. We give them the CRM, then we push hard. You don't get a deal, follow up. That is the point today, right? Like we are trying to get as many follow-ups as we can, because these follow-ups are going to lead to appointments, which are going to lead to stinking deals, guys. Okay. Remember the fourth one here, right? Fifth one here. We're going to follow up at least 14 cash buyer follow-ups. And not a lot of people talk about cash buyer follow-ups, but cash buyer follow-ups are super important in this business, okay? Cash buyer follow-ups is just following up with their cash buyers, not for a lead or to close anything, but seeing how the cash buyer is doing, see their business, what areas they're looking. Hey, I'm doing some marketing. Where should I post some marketing? Just building that relationship. Guys, you need to have a human connection, an actual real relationship with your cash buyers. And if you're not having this human relationship with the cash buyers, heck, it's going to be extremely hard for you to sell these deals. And you want to sell these deals very well and have a lot of success with them. So that's what I would be focusing on. Next here is very important, right? But offers. I want people to understand this. The most important stat you can look at in your own real estate business, if you look at your wholesaling real estate business, like what stat's super important? What stats should I focus on? What is one of the most important stats for me to have in my own business? I can tell you straight up, offers are going to be them. If you are not making offers, you are not doing deals. And I can go up to any single person right now in their wholesaling real estate operation that's saying, hey, I'm doing all the leads you're saying, and I'm doing all this stuff, and I'm just getting no deals. Heck, dude, you're not making enough offers. So I get a lot of people saying, I'm doing this marketing. Oh, I don't care. Like I honestly, I hate to call myself rash or mean or something like that, but like when I hear somebody complaining that they're not getting the deals and they deserve to get deals, I go straight up for this. I say, hey, Mr. Wholesaler, how many offers had you made this week? And if someone says, I made no offers, how do you expect to get any deals done, any offers? And I think this is one of the most underrated stats in wholesaling real estate, but this business is all about offers. Even if they're bad offers, if you're swinging, right? Like when you're swinging on a baseball, you shoot a shot, there's still a chance it goes in. We call it a puncher's chance in fighting, right? Like you still got a puncher's chance to win, because heck, you can land one. So it might be a low percentage, but if you keep shooting, it's going to go in. Now, I'd rather you do high percentage shots. Shots are most likely to go in. You don't want to waste your time with like full court shots, but like, heck, if you could just line yourself up at somebody that wants to sell their property and give them an offer, you make enough offers, you're going to do deals. And a lot of people avoid doing offers because they're nervous, they're scared to talk to sellers, and they're afraid. And really, to get over this fear of giving offers, you just got to do it. And the worst they say is no. They kick you out of the house. You're closer to your dream. Every offer you make, you actually become closer to your dream. And that's what you have to understand. And once you realize that every single offer you make, the closer you are to making 10K a month, 20K a month, 30K a month, financial freedom, you and your family, you could probably, I can't even stop you from giving offers once you start having that mindset. So switch up your mindset of I'm scared to talk to sellers. I'm scared to go on the phone. Every single cold call you make, every single offer you make, you're closer to your dream. And eventually you keep making those offers, those cold calls, you're gonna get that deal, that second deal, the third deal, and you're in the money. And that's the point of today. That's the point I want to talk about for most people. Within 90 days, you want to start implementing these actions. You got to start asking yourself, what am I going to do to get this level? How do I get these calls? How do I get these cash buyers? How do I get all these no's? You got to figure out what the marketing schedule, right? You go to Wholesaling.com, you figure it out, but it all comes down to offer, right? And you look at a lot of things too, right? No marketing is equal to no deals. And there's about 3 or 4 things that are going to kill a real estate wholesaling business starting out, right? So if you're trying to get up in the next 3 months to a bunch of deals, you got to focus on your marketing, your acquisitions, and your dispositions, right? Those are the 3 things you got to focus on. And marketing, focus on talking to sellers, getting out there, getting the word, and getting yeses to people wanting to sell the property. Then you go to acquisitions, really making offers, appointments, all these things. And then dispositions, how many cash buyers we're talking to you. That's what it is. No offers are equal to no deals. And I have a little saying, it's really corny. It's really hilarious, but it's true. But mo offers, mo deals. No offers, no deals. No offers, no deals. Mo offers, mo deals. And no and mo kind of rhyme, but more offers, more deals. No offers, no deals. No offers, no deals. More offers, more deals. And really, you just kind of think about that in your head. It'll probably help you out a little more. But kind of what I talk about every single day, kind of what I talk about all the time is just making these offers out here. And the more offers you make, the better you're going to do, right? And heck, I have to do cringy sayings to make you actually make offers in your business, but that's what it's going to take. So the last question I get, one of the most important ones I get is like, Zach, there's this guy out here, he's making $500,000 a year in wholesaling in Houston or Dallas or whatever it is, right? And they're like, oh, I wish I could be at that, right? Like how? He's just so much better than me, right? And it's really funny when I get people say that. And I always tell them just to become a copy ninja, right? And I've been talking a lot about Naruto lately because I've been rewatching the entire thing lately. And I've been watching a lot, and they got a character on here, and I don't want to get too much. He's called the copy ninja, right? And what he basically does is he finds somebody that makes a move, right? And then he can copy it. And I don't get the whole thing. It's kind of funny the way you look at it, but like you basically do a special move and he can copy it in like an instant and find it, right? And so what makes him really good, because like you can use a special move, he'll find it out in a second and then redo it to you. Even while you're doing it, he can copy you. And he's called the copy ninja. Now, you got to use the same thing in your wholesaling business. You don't have to have, that's all fantasy land, but you look at real land. Become a copy ninja. So if I find a guy making $500,000 a year, I'm gonna be like, okay, let me figure out exactly what he's doing and copy him. And heck, even if I'm 60% of his level, even 60%, I'll at least make 250 to 300K a year. Because if I'm marketing to the same lead list as he is, but I'm like a month off, the timing, I'm gonna hit a couple sellers at the right time and do some deals. So just copy them, right? So if I find a guy in San Antonio and he's doing really well, I'm gonna figure out what type of lists he's pulling, how many leads he's doing, what areas he's wholesaling in, who are his top cash buyers, and these are all things I teach at freewholesaling.com. I'm just gonna copy him, and then I'm just gonna do what he does and become really good, right? That is the point, guys and gals. You want to become a copy ninja with the top wholesalers in your market. And it works to an extent. I get a lot of people trying to copy me, and it never works. And the reason why copying me in my own market doesn't work is because y'all like to cherry pick on the copying, right? And if you're gonna copy somebody, I just hope you know, like you look at the real copy ninja, right? The one in the TV shows, he copies everything. So if you're gonna copy me in my own business, you're gonna have to copy the marketing I do. And you might try your same marketing, but if you use your same stupid guru acquisitions, stupid little closing, it's never gonna work, okay? If you do my marketing, you have to copy my cold calling script. If you use my list with a guru cold calling script, you're not gonna win. The truth is, most of my marketing is already done by pretty much all my competition. I still win because I have the right scripts. And a lot of people out in my market actually use my same scripts with the same lists. But how do I win? Because of my acquisitions. And the acquisitions is not a script you can copy word for word. Actually caring for people, being empathetic and not sympathetic. Let me say that one more time. With your sellers, you have to be empathetic, not sympathetic. That's very, very important. And then last but not least is just being at that appointment for hours and doing whatever it takes for the seller. That's very hard to copy. And that's one thing that most wholesalers can't do. Dispositions, actually having deals to give to cash buyers, helping them out, using title companies, using everything we teach on actually how to find cash buyers with title companies, all my little hidden gems, my tactics, how to go on Facebook, copy kids that are doing deals, finding their markets, finding what they're doing, all these things. These are all the little tiny things that you copy every single time to actually get a huge advantage over them. And once you start doing these things, guys and gals, your life will start changing. And I promise you, you keep going out here and doing it, you'll do very well, okay? I think so many wholesalers out here, they're not copying, they're top sellers, right? They're trying to play it by ear. And really, heck, if I want to be like Kobe Bryant, I might not have the physical skills as him, but if I do what he did, right, where I practice basketball for 6 hours a day, 6 days a week for 6 months straight, I guarantee you I'm going to be a lot better at basketball. And if I kind of copy his moves and his style, I study that for an extra hour a day, I can almost guarantee you I'm not going to be as good as him, obviously. But if I do that for years, I'm going to be very good, right? And if I just did that at 17 years old all the time, I probably would never be on his level, but I'd be pretty dang good. And I know many basketball players, even in the elite level, starting out at 16, 17, they're doing that. But the ones that are, they're getting the NBA, they're doing very well, right? The reason why he tells everybody his training routine, all this stuff, because he knew nobody was willing to do it. He knew that. He was like, nobody's going to work harder than me. Why do you think I'll do live cold calling and I'll close sellers and I'll use my best tactic to close sellers in front of everybody? My competition, everyone. Even though I know you guys are probably going to call that same seller on the live that I just did because it was a FISBO, just try to undercut me because a broke guru listens to me and they tell everyone to do that to undercut me and I still get the deals. Why? Because I know for a fact you can't copy my style, okay? Because so many people go out here, they try to copy my style and you gotta have your own style and you gotta do it the right way. Me caring for a seller, me actually have authenticity in my voice. Most people can't do that. But once you can copy that for yourself and actually do it for yourself, you become successful. But you got to go out here and do the best you can. But that's actually how you make 10K a month, right? Really the last part here is how much should you allocate your time? How much time with cash buyers? How much time with motivated sellers? Honestly, I really think that you should probably adopt a 70-30 approach. And what I mean by this, I think if you're in a lower ARV market, I would spend at least 70% of your time with sellers and about 30% on cash buyers. Because in low ARV markets, when there's not a lot of buyers, maybe there's low ARV, a bunch of buyers. This is like Memphis, parts of Arkansas, Oklahoma's like this too, right? Where it's very low ARVs, but high amount of cash buyers. That's all fine. If you're in a high ARV market where it's a little easier to find cash buyers, I'd probably do 80-20. 80% of my time talking with sellers, and then 20% of my time actually out here talking to cash buyers and that. But if you stick that schedule, if you guys actually go out here to freewholesaling.com, my free real estate wholesaling course right here, I can tell you, you're going to have a lot better chance and you're going to be a lot more successful with talking to these motivated sellers. I think so many people, they don't do what it takes to become successful. You're going to have to push past that point and do whatever it takes, right? And I get so many people asking me like, Zach, what drove you to success? All I got to do is like kind of go here and I can show you, right? So I've had this thing on, this is my office at my house. I've had this little office set up for a while now, and I have a lot of things that motivate me, a lot of things that I like on here, right? But one thing I could tell you is the most motivating part, and I've had this thing in my hand since the first day I started wholesaling real estate. I want everybody to understand, I've had this little thing. It's probably been the most motivating thing I've ever had in my entire business career. And I've always had it like somewhere when I was cold calling, right? Always when I was cold calling, talking to sellers, I even had this thing in my car and it stands right here on the videos, okay? And this is my name tag when I was a bag boy at Publix, okay? This is my name tag. I don't know if it's gonna show it here, but this was my name tag right here, okay? Since I was 14 years old, I had this little thing, okay? It's my name tag when I quit, when I got my first 2 deals. And this is the same name tag I have right here. I want everybody to understand this. If y'all wanna understand what pushed me so hard to become successful in wholesaling, because I looked at this thing and I knew if I didn't do that cold call, if I didn't cold call 5 hours today, I knew if I didn't go out here and push myself, put my bandit signs out, I would have to put the stupid little name tag back on, start scrubbing toilets and clean dookie off of things and then bagging groceries. I knew this is what I never wanted. So I kept this thing as a reminder. And I always looked at it sometimes when I feel like a little sorry punk to myself that I don't want to do work. I say, what's more of a sorry punk? Having this thing on me with a little apron, bagging groceries, or me actually going in here and doing the thing I don't want to do? And it's always a great reminder to myself that I want to put life in my own hands. I want to control my own life. And if I look at this thing, there's nothing that's going to stop me from making $10,000 a month in wholesaling when I was starting out, right? And I did it ever since I started, right? And scaling a business, tough times, everything, especially in business. I look at this thing and I'm like, heck, there's nothing that can stop me. And you guys have to have that why and that reason. And if you don't have something that pushes you past the point of no return, when, I hate to say it, when you feel like a sorry little punk, when you feel like quitting, when you feel like being a quitter, if you don't have that little thing that's in the back of your head, or maybe something that can make you think of that, that's going to stop you. And then there's going to be nothing that's going to stop you from quitting. Then you quit and that dream isn't fulfilled. I'm not saying to have a little memento or anything like that, but like something that inspires you, something that, you know for a fact subconsciously when you're feeling motivated. If I look at this thing, even when I feel like I want to quit, I ain't going to quit. For most people, it's a picture of your wife or your husband, or it's a picture of the kids or a dog or any of these things. That's going to push you hard too, right? And you gotta look at everything, right? And heck, like I painted the skull when I was 7 with my aunt. I always thought that skull's pretty cool. And that skull represents a lot of things too, right? Humble beginnings as a kid, and number one, we're gonna be dead one day, right? And do you want to live your entire life knowing you didn't reach your whole life at its true potential or not? And I got one in Mexico. I thought it was kind of cool, Day of the Dead stuff. But honestly, that's the way I look at life. That's the way I look at pushing myself. And heck, you need to do that for yourself. So if you want to make $10,000 a month, you need an action plan, you need a why, and you need some hustle. Like I don't know what to say, but that action, that it factor to go out here and do it, that'll lead to success. So guys, that is it. That is my $10,000 a month action plan guide. That's how you build that operation in less than 90 days. The drive, the dedication, planning, go out here and live your dream.